Welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed, as you know. So flip it, switch it, twist it. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you, especially on my channel, as everyone knows. And if you don't know, I like to go deep. I like to look at the spiritual blocks. I like to look and see how they play out as karmic themes within your relationship. So we do look at everything else as well, but we take it a step further. All right. Now, if you're new to my channel, know if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me because you resonated so much with this video, you give me a like, subscribe to the channel. You need to do that anyway, if you want to know when I'm going to be on, and then you'll write the word of the video in your comment bar, and the word of the video always comes from my Psychic Soul Healer Oracle deck. All right. And it's compassion, it's compassion, it's compassion. That's what the word is that you're going to write in your comment bar. It's also the word that I like to open up my readings with, whatever card that I pick. It's the way that Spirit and I decided to communicate how we would open up my readings, because I never really knew what to talk about because, again, I like to focus on the shadows. So automatically, I'm feeling like you're in separation with someone that wants to come back and they want you to be compassionate. I'm also feeling like, Virgo, that's not exactly the easiest thing for you. And the reason why is because people don't really give you compassion. They haven't given you compassion. So there's this spiritual element within your connection. Now, I feel like your person, again, you're in separation from someone that really knows that you're their person. And I feel like at one point you felt like they were your person, and now you're not really feeling that way. And that's why they can feel it. And that's why they're like, you're never going to believe anything that I tell you. You're not going to believe any of it. And I feel like they have valid reasons, but they played a lot of games in the beginning of this connection. So, this is why they're nervous that you won't give them compassion. Now, we're going to pull some cards and actually see why I just channeled that message from just this word compassion. So, we're going to start by looking at the shadow love cards. And then we'll look at the hidden truths, because just because a person's spiritual blocks are what they are, doesn't mean that they don't have feelings. When we have spiritual blocks, they come out as behaviorisms that block us. We tend to get in our own way. We sabotage the connection. And so that's due to an experience that they've gone through before. Because they have a block in maybe being open to love, trusting people. Maybe people haven't really been compassionate with them, and so they have a hard time with compassion, and now they need you to be compassionate. A lot of times that's how it works, right? You're a magnet and a mirror of who and what comes into your life. So that didn't mean that you deserved to be treated badly, but this person, I don't think, meant to treat you as badly as they did, if that makes sense. But let's just look at the shadow love cards and see. We're going to pull 3. Dark side. Again, so they have a lot of, the dark side is the shadow part of ourself. The shadow part of ourself is the part of ourself that we wear a mask. So I feel like this person, like I said, played a lot of games. They didn't want you to get up close. They don't like who they are, first of all. So they created this whole persona. And that persona is that they're very successful. They're very successful financially. They're very successful. I even believe that they lived over their means to give the perception of how well that they were doing. And it's not that they weren't doing well, but it's one of those people that buy things before the money is actually in their hand. They're overly confident. And so that's the dark side, the ego part of self. And the ego part of self is a part of self that's indulgent. And I feel like this person was indulgent. And when they met you, they didn't really want to be in a committed relationship. They really didn't want to have that. And they wanted to stay in that part of themselves because they don't really know who they truly are. right? So if we don't know who we truly are, we're not going to like what we don't know. We're going to, of course, like the facade that we've created. So again, in the blind spot, it's again, they refuse to get to know you too because they have intimacy issues. They don't want, if we don't trust ourselves, then obviously we're not going to trust anyone else. If we have a hard time accepting love, it's because we believe that we're not lovable. So I believe because your person was a very surface person, here for a good time, not for a long time type of thing, you know, uh, because how else could they show the facade, right? How could they make anyone believe their facade by not getting too deep? But in not getting deep enough, they didn't take the time to get to know you. So there wasn't just one blind spot. I feel like there was a lot of blind spots. They perceived that they knew you from the spiritual connection, but they didn't take the time to get to know you, so they could never really fully make a judgment about how what you would do, how you were going to be. All their judgments were based on other people's opinions, if they told people about you, or what has been done with other partners, but not from you. And so that's where the blind spot came into play. But that's because they have an intimacy problem, not getting close. And it comes out as commitment issues, one foot in, one foot out, one more from this desk, long road. And they also they continuously compare. They continuously compare because they don't feel good about themselves. So they look for the answers outside of themselves. And they're always thinking that they have so much that they're never going to be in a place of healing. They actually feel like they're a fallen angel. They feel as if there's something wrong with them because they know how they are. They know that they make people really angry, that they've been in too many toxic relationships. They're realizing that they are the main factor. But I'm feeling what really cemented that new idea into their head is the fact that you don't have like toxic relationships. I feel like this person almost studied you from afar, talked about you, asked questions, finds out information any which way that they can, because they have trust issues. So they're actually looking for something to be wrong, and they couldn't find anything wrong. And what they're saying is, you're a really good person. You have good character. You're someone that should have been in my life. And I actually sabotaged this connection. And on top of it, I don't really see myself ever being able to be in a relationship, but they do desire love. They do desire to be a part of something, to feel connected. And that's what happens with detachment and disassociation disorder that happens from trauma when we're really young. So what happens is that you have this soulmate, and we're going to find out what kind of soulmate. We're going to look at the hidden truths first, and then we're going to look and see what type of soulmate that they are. Um, they come into our life to show us. And what I feel like already is that this person is looking at you after the entire relationship is demolished, which is why they want compassion. It's like they could have came back several times. They could have apologized. They could have. So again, that would require them to surrender their ego. They didn't want to do that. They were too afraid to be vulnerable. I wish I could share my good news with you. I feel like they're making changes. I feel like they are healing, but and because they are healing internally, they're making those changes on the outside. So it's a little bit scary for them. I feel like a lot of things in their life that used to be stable, that used to be um, what they felt would always be there, is no longer, because it wasn't built on truth. So it's scary for them. Finding out the truth crushed me. I feel like, and I've been getting this card a lot lately, which is irritating me because it's like I feel as if like the truth of the fact that you weren't going to like chase them, that you weren't as madly in love with them as you, like, you showed them a perception of themselves that crushed themselves, not necessarily the truth of something that you did. Because this person always looked at life through the distorted perceptions that they've created due to the experiences that they went through, and never really taking the time to get to know you on a deep, intimate level. And that doesn't mean sleeping together, that means actually being there for you on an emotional level, knowing what your likes and dislikes. This person couldn't do that because they're detached. So the thing is, it's like this person created a whole facade over what they wanted people to perceive that they are. Now, at some level, they must have known that they did this many, many years ago. But if you live from that level of consciousness long enough, you will believe that that's who you are. And so I think what crushed them is that you showed them that you're not invincible. It's not just you, everything else is falling apart in their life, but you are like the cherry on the cake. Like you again are like, if you're not going to be there, if you're not going to have compassion, if you don't forgive them, and I feel like they don't think that you're going to. I feel like sometimes they think that you will, but for the majority, it's like they don't. I knew exactly what I was doing. And that's why they, again, the truth crushed me of like the fact that you wouldn't almost put up with that. And I feel like in a way, this person feels so bad about themselves that they would have actually needed for you to go out of your way to give, to, kind of abandon yourself in order to please them. That's what they want. And it still wouldn't have been enough. In their mind, it would have been enough. And I think their ego told them, well, if you would just make it easier, well, you make everything difficult. Where I don't really believe that you were making it difficult. I believe that you had respect for yourself. And that's what this person sees now. They're like, I have respect for you because I see you have respect for yourself. And I never really knew what that looked like. like, and that means that this person always hung out with people on a lower consciousness, people that didn't value themselves as much. So they didn't invest enough. So they overgave. And so they expected you to do that too, but not because of you. Now you might feel as if people tend to treat you like that, but that's your wounds. And we will look at your inner child wounds because we have to say, why would you attract a person like this? You're a magnet of who and what comes into your life. There's always a spiritual reason. Oh, I already picked three. So that's why they feel guilty. They feel guilty because they knew exactly what they were doing. And it's their own guilt. So I want to just pull three cards from here, which is the planets are activating us to heal and bring us closer together, surrender to the changes. So this person believes that you are their soulmate and that they're in the process of healing. Like I said, in the first part was, the dark side, the awareness. The second is that there is a long road. The blind spot is that it's not all or nothing. It's not that they can't be in a relationship. The relationship could start off as a friendship. The relationship should start off, I mean, when you're building intimacy, the blind spot is that it's not an all or nothing type of thinking. When we have a lot of anxiety and trauma due to other relationships or due to not trusting ourselves, for whatever reason, there's a lot of different reasons why we don't trust ourselves. Then we form a block. It's like, and that means that we're seeing things from a limited perception. Your person sees the type of person that you are now that the relationship is totally demolished, which it's going to require some compassion. This person knows they're coming back to you. Do they 100% know that you're going to accept them back? I feel like sometimes yes, sometimes no, because they're not balanced. And so sometimes they know what they did was really bad by playing games and not really giving you your time and not validating your emotions. I mean, that's what this is really about, that they were in your life, but they weren't really in your life in a way that fulfilled you at all. And they had refused to give you unless you overcompensated and abandon yourself. But they realize that, and that's why they believe that that they're gonna come back. They believe that. But the guilt is the fact that they knew exactly what they were doing and they know that you're going to say that to them. And it's because they weren't coming from their true self when they first met you. You didn't meet them. I'm going through a dark night of the soul. Nothing in my life is making sense. And that's why I said everything's collapsing in their environment. But the one thing that remains is this connection that you and them have, which I believe you always had. They just didn't value that connection. They disposed of it. They didn't treat it like it was a divine connection because they weren't coming from that level of consciousness. They were a very egotistical person because life had shown them that they could be that way. They never challenged them before. Then all of a sudden, life challenged them, and then on top of it, you challenged them. And they had to deal with all these emotions. And obviously, this person's not emotionally intelligent. So it's taking them some time. And it also took like everything in their life to like that wasn't real to like collapse, to put them in a dark night of the soul. Otherwise, I don't think that this person would have ever realized, ever really changed. So while they're going through it, you're part of that because you stand out, because you're different. And you're different because of the connection that they have with you. They actually feel that they could be in a relationship with you. So they're like kicking themselves because it's like, I could have, I should have, it was right there. It's like, I should have taken advantage of it. Why didn't I? So they're realizing that they sabotaged the connection one more. I need you to trust me and believe I am working towards a union with you. So this person again does believe that they are coming back to you. Now, some of you are going to say yes, some of you are going to go into no. This is a collective reading. But what I will tell you is compassion. If you have a spiritual block with like where you're like, I don't really want to forgive this person. It's like that because that's what'll happen if you like have blocks where you're like no because you're going to hurt me again. So will I ask, will this person hurt you again? And if you want to be in the connection, what energy do you need to bring forth? Like what were you supposed to learn? What is lacking? Because understand there's many different realities that play out at one time. Your level of consciousness determines your actions and your behaviorisms. So you can shape shift your reality to get exactly what you want with the soulmate. The illusion is that you can't. And that's because we tend to keep living the same karmic loops. So we're going to first see what does this person, we know what this person's going to do. They come, they believe, but will the relationship have staying power? Will the relationship have staying power? And then we're going to look at, like, again, the wounds, because it's not so much about what they do, it's about the trigger and what that trigger will cause. If a person has commitment issues and they have one foot in, one foot out, it's not the fact that they have commitment issues that usually ends the relationship. I mean, it does, that's the core reason, but it's usually people creating fireworks within the relationship. That's why your person that has problems trusting. They create a lot of problems within their relationships that creates a lot of emotional turbulence. So they're already looking at you like you're not going to be compassionate because of how other people treated you. But really they associate um like compassion with are you going to be nice when really it's a lot deeper, that it's about understanding walking in somebody else's shoes. So they're going to have to be vulnerable. They can't just expect you to be compassionate is what I'm trying to get at. It's like, and that might mean that you might have to say, well, you need to like give me some explanation. And also then you also need to set boundaries with this person, is what I'm feeling intuitively right off the bat. Now we're going to take the cards that fell out. Three of Wands, upright, manifest your dreams. So again, their intentions are good. Clarity and thought. Seven of Cups, upright. So they're putting a lot of thought into it. There's a lot of clarity about, hey, I do know that this is what I want. It's like, and they really took the time to think about it. And believe me, like I said, they look for reasons on why they shouldn't be with you. They can't find one. That's that's why they're like, and they still have this connection. So they're like, I know I'm supposed to be with this person. Um, and in order to be with this person, I need to become this type of person myself. Otherwise, you're not going to take them back. And then the other one was Eight of Swords. So again, their biggest thing is going to be self-entrapment, again, getting in their own way, their own thoughts, thinking that they're not good enough, not enough. So you may have to like encourage this person. They're still on their healing journey, but they're working through. They are really working through their issues right now. They want to manifest their dreams, but they still have blocks. And some blocks just they're not going to be transmuted until we actually walk through the porthole. And that means you got to walk through, whatever situation you're in. You have to go through it and integrate certain spiritual lessons. And so, like I said, they have to go through the dark night of the soul and have to realize that you can't, first of all, be walking around through the facade of yourself and think that you're going to be able to manifest lasting things in your life. You're not. And you also have to realize when you're not true to yourself, what you attract are things and people and situations that are not true to you. And that's what happened to this person. And the thing is, when they met you, they were at the highlight of their life. They were at a high because that's what happens with spiritual tests. You'll think you're going in the right directions. And that's why they say the bigger that you are, the harder you fall, because this person had a big ego thinking who they were, but it wasn't built on truth. You're built on truth. So that's why they're like, I realize it now, and that I made the entire relationship a shit and mess. Please have compassion with me. Please have compassion with me. And for you, what Spirit is saying, it's like this person did put thought into it, going to, understand that. And they are going to manifest their dreams, and their dreams is to have a connection with you. However, they will still continue to get in their own way from time to time. You cannot expect them to be 100% healing. So it's really going to take compassion and not a one and done type deal. But if there is unconditional love, that's not going to be the problem. So we ask Spirit, well, what the hell energy that you're giving me this person that's going to trigger the shit out of me? How am I supposed to get through it? I mean, yeah, there's a lot of passion and there's a lot of chemistry, but what is the spiritual element? Because it's either I'm going to be killing this person or in bed with this person. It's like, and the relationship calls for balance. Hello, like what am I? And so Spirit says, well, let's look and see what energy you can, integrate into this situation if you choose to be with this person, Virgo. Harmony, I open up myself to the divine being within me. I am the image of God. Thus, I have the power to bring light into my life. I turn any darkness in me into something beautiful. In the absence of resentment, anger, or doubt, I find harmony. Well, I mean, isn't that like, Spirit's like, well, it's about finding harmony within yourself, that no one or nothing should be able to trigger you. So if this person is triggering the shit out of you, where you want to either kill them or you want to wind up in bed with them, it's like, because there is unconditional love, there is passion, but that passion is to help you transmute your wound, to work through your wounds. How it did with this person. Your person, like I said, they had to go through all of that shit in order to find the goodness within what's actually lasting, what's actually remaining is good, and they were seeing that. But and so for you, it's to look whenever you get triggered and not say, hey, it's you. It's to say, why are you able to make me feel this way, to yourself? And then actually do the shadow work that's required. Because if the person may make you feel as if, obviously in this situation, didn't make you feel like you were worthy enough, made you feel that like a lack, not good enough. And Spirit says, why is somebody able to make you feel that way? You're like, well, because every time we had plans, they didn't show up, or every time I couldn't trust them. And Spirit says, well, why are you waiting for them? Where's your life? Where's your passion? Where's your unique individuality that's filling your cup up all the way over the brim? What are you doing with your time? Are you just sitting there waiting? That's why you're angry. And to realize that any darkness within inside of you turns to light. How would we know where our darkness was? It's through the relationships that come into our lives and then the experiences that unfold due to those relationships. So a boss, a mother, a father, a best friend, a lover, all these people. So that's what Spirit is saying it's like, and find your harmony. And your harmony is by finding balance within yourself. And that's within, you know, um, feeding yourself, feeding yourself with love. And that's through doing things and having a love affair with yourself, but also realizing that in that you'll be able to transmute resentment and anger and doubt because you find who you truly are. And once you find out who you truly are, you're attracting the right people and situations into your life. And in that, you're commanding the environment on how you want to be treated. And so, and you're able to be compassionate and realize that people, you're dealing with people on all different levels of consciousness, and that right now, your person has a spiritual block, obviously within relationships, that might not be such a big block for you. Holding your ground, finding balance with working with difficult people, however, could be something that's very challenging for you. And that's why you're getting this person, because Spirit says, oh, do they make you feel darkness? Do they, make you feel like you're separate from love? Do they make you feel like from a place of lack? Well, that means heal yourself. Otherwise, you wouldn't know. And I'm going to leave that there, Virgo. It's all if you're going to be compassionate. And that is your spiritual lesson. But they're coming back with true intentions. I'll talk to you soon.